Welcome to Domesday Delving, where we embark on a journey through history, one place at a time, guided by the entries in the Domesday Book. I'm Claire, and today we're exploring Garforth, a town a few miles east of Leeds in West Yorkshire. What is the Domesday Book? Let's start with a bit of context. The Domesday Book is one of England's most remarkable historical records, a survey commissioned by William the Conqueror in 1086, 20 years after his victory at Hastings. As he held court in Gloucester that Christmas, William ordered a comprehensive inventory of his new kingdom's wealth and resources. This survey was not only a tally, it was a profound exercise in power, enabling William to assess how much tax he could levy on his subjects. The compilation of the Domesday Book was an immense undertaking. Panels of bishops, earls and their retinues fanned out across the shires, recording everything from land holdings to livestock numbers. The result is a document that offers us an extraordinary window into life in England nearly a millennium ago. Garforth before the Norman conquest. The Domesday entry for Garforth takes us back into the final days of Anglo-Saxon England, into the reign of King Edward the Confessor. At that time, Garforth was held by a man named Earnwig. While we know almost nothing about Earnwig himself, the records reveal that he was a moderately wealthy landowner, managing 7 carucates of land with 4 ploughs. For those less familiar with medieval measurements, a carucate was roughly 120 acres, the amount of land that a team of 8 oxen could plough in a year. 1 carucate was considered the amount of land needed to support a single family in food. So, in modern terms, Earnwig was farming around 840 acres with the help of 32 oxen. Under the governance of Earl Edwin, one of the most powerful magnates of late Anglo-Saxon England, Garforth was valued at 60 shillings for tax purposes. What does that actually mean? In 11th century England, the currency system was based on pounds, shillings and pence, a legacy from Roman times though adapted significantly over the centuries. The pound was a unit of account rather than a physical coin, representing 240 pence or 20 shillings. The most common coin in circulation was the silver penny, which carried a significant purchasing power, enough, for instance, to buy a sheep. The valuation of 60 shillings, equivalent to £3, represented a substantial amount of wealth. In practical terms, it could be seen as enough to buy a small herd of cattle or to pay the annual wages of a skilled worker. So in practical terms, Garforth was a moderately well-off village in the late Anglo-Saxon period. Garforth after the Norman conquest. The Norman conquest brought dramatic changes to Garforth, as it did across England. Yorkshire, along with Durham and Northumberland, became a focal point of resistance against William's rule. Led by figures like Edgar Atheling, the last male member of the Anglo-Saxon royal house, and supported by Earls Edwin and Morcar, these rebellions provoked William into unleashing one of the most brutal campaigns in English history, the Harrowing of the North. In his ecclesiastical history, Odoric Vitalis gives us a chilling account of this campaign, describing how William's forces laid waste to the land, burning crops, slaughtering livestock, and causing a famine so severe that it drove people further north to cannibalism. This devastation is starkly reflected in the Domesday Book, which records very little detail north of Durham, a testament to the widespread destruction. In Garforth, the impact of the conquest is obvious. The land was now under the control of Ilbert de Lacy, a Norman lord who had fought alongside William at Hastings. Rewarded for this loyalty with over 150 manors, primarily in West Yorkshire and Lancashire, Ilbert established his seat at Pontefract, where he built the formidable Pontefract Castle. It's very unlikely that Ilbert ever visited Garforth himself. The Domesday Book records that Ilbert retained some land for his personal use, with 2 ploughs in demesne. 2 of his men, William and Warren, managed the remaining land with 3 ploughs between them. They likely acted as stewards, ensuring that the local population met their obligations to their new lord. the locals. Turning to the local populace, the Domesday Book notes that Garforth was home to 4 villeins and 1 bordar, along with a church and a priest. Villeins were relatively well-off peasants, farming enough land to produce a surplus in a good year, while bordars were less prosperous, holding smaller plots. The presence of a church and a priest suggests a settled community with a degree of spiritual and social organisation, even with the upheaval. With only the heads of households recorded in the Domesday Book, these 5 individuals represent a much larger community, perhaps 23 to 28 people in total. The village also boasted 4 acres of meadow and approximately 40 acres of woodland. This woodland was a vital resource, providing not only timber for building and fuel, but also foraging grounds for pigs and a source of wild foods. Despite these resources, by 1086 Garforth's value had dropped to just 30 shillings, half of its earlier worth. To give this some perspective, 30 shillings could still buy a few dozen sheep or pay for several months of a craftsman's wages, but the reduction indicates a significant economic downturn. This drop reflects the broader devastation caused by the Norman conquest, particularly the Harrowing of the North, which severely disrupted the local economy. Connecting the past and present. The Domesday Survey wasn't just about taxes, it was about understanding and managing resources, something that we still grapple with, albeit with far more advanced tools. Today, data plays an increasingly crucial role in how we govern, make decisions, and navigate our lives, and it's worth paying attention to how that data can be used. The past doesn't offer easy answers, but it does show us that recovery and adaptation are long processes, often requiring resilience and a bit of creativity. Conclusion. When I first decided to delve into Garforth's entry in the Domesday Book, I wasn't sure what I would find, but Garforth revealed a story of resilience in the face of overwhelming change, and it gave me a snapshot of life nearly 1,000 years ago. I hope you found this exploration of early medieval Garforth as fascinating as I have. If you have a place you'd like me to delve into next, whether it's a village with personal significance, a town with a curious history, or a city that intrigues you, please leave a comment or send me a message. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Domesday Delving. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a review, and I'll see you next time.